The Giver, Chapter 15, read by Lois Lowry. Jonas entered the annex room and then realized immediately that it was the day where he would be sent away. The Giver was rigid in his chair, face in his hands. "I'll come back tomorrow, sir." He hesitated. "Unless maybe there's something I can do to help." The Giver looked up in a face of contorted with suffering. "Please," he gasped, "take some of this pain." Jonas helped him into his chair at the side of the bed. Then he quickly removed the tunic and lay face down. "Put your hands on me," he declared, and aware that such anguish the Giver might need some reminding. The hands came and the pain came with them as a thought. Jonas braced himself and entered the memory which was torturing the Giver. He was confused, nosy, foul-smelling place. It was daylight and early morning, and the air was thick with smoke that hung yellow and brown above the ground around him. Everywhere, far across the expanse of his seemed to be filled with laying, groaning men. With their wide-eyed horse, its brittle, torn, and jangling, sauntered frantically through the mountains of men. Tossing its head, whining in panic, it stumbled and finally fell to the ground and didn't rise. Jonas heard a voice next to him. "Water!" the voice said in a parched, choking whisper. He turned his head towards the voice and looked into the half-closed eyes of a boy who seemed not much older than himself. Dirt streaked the boy's face and his matted blonde hair. He lay sprawled in his gray uniform, glistening with wet flesh blood. The colors of the carnage was graphically bright, the crimson wetness of the rough and dusty fabric. He ripped the shreds of glass, startlingly green, from the boy's yellow hair. The voice stared at him. "Water!" he begged. When he spoke, a new spurt of blood drenched the coarse cloth across his chest and sleeve. One of Jonas's arms was immobilized by the pain, and he could see his own torn sleeve and something that looked like ragged flesh and splintering bone. He tried his remaining arm and felt it move. Slowly he reached his side, felt the metal container there, and removed his cap, stopping the small motion of his hands now, and then waiting for the surging pain to ease. Finally, when the container was open, he extended his arms slowly across the blood-soaked earth, inch by inch, and held it to the lips of the boy. Water trickled into the imploring mouth and down by the grimy chin. The boy sighed, his head fell back, lower jaw dropping, as if he had just been surprised by something. A dull blankness slid across his eyes. He was silent. But the noise continued all around, the cries of wounded men, the cries of them begging for water and mother and death. Horses lying on the ground shrieked, raised their heads, and stabbed randomly towards the sky with their hooves. From a distance, Jonas could hear the thud of canyons. Overwhelmed with pain, he lay there in a fearsome stench for hours, listened to the men and animals die, and learned what the word "order" meant. Finally, he knew he could bear it no longer, and he would welcome death himself. He opened his eyes and once again was on the bed. The Giver looked away as if he could not bear to see what he had done to Jonas. "Forgive me," he said.